in the back of my mind when I look at this lobby, the consistency has been phenomenal. While there has been not the outstanding Sterling performances, the ones that you're speaking about in question, FaZe, VP, I still can't look past the Korean teams in terms of Afreeca Freecs, T1, Afreeca Freecs, yeah, ending yesterday with a 21-point game. It's a nice way to kind of end it and roll into today. But Afreeca Freecs, well, again, and this is the whole thing, if they can get some more points on the board in terms of kills, just a few more here and there, and a win secured under the belt, it will send them flying up the table. We've seen what a difference when... Yes, this is very, very Lauren of you to give us this circle.
Yeah, nay. We are going nice and southeast loop, and I like what you said about the sort of, the Korean teams out there. I'm sure you could throw in a couple of Chinese teams, Southeast Asian teams for sure. I also want to look at North America because, yes, they're not quite consistent, I feel, but their pop-offs have been super high-end, right? Like, some of those frags that they've been putting up, massive, Oath looking pretty deadly. We saw so many of the teams looking so on point. And speaking of, Zenith is in, let's put a bother with Shimboy being a little bit surrounded, but apparently he's fine. Needs to hit that reload 4 HP. He's going for the hip fire, the VSS on the other side. It should be enough, maybe not. Lingdu's probably kicking himself, but doesn't want to overextend, and the adjustment and the support's on the way. He's now got backup. Roth's here, and there's the pull-up from Poonage. This is 2 points, keep in mind. That's not a bad way to start the day.
Everyone should be... You can see from the guns what they're working with and the amount of utility. He will hold fire with the VSS all but a moment. It does do a fair amount of damage, but still the push can keep on going. It comes down to basically who's got the stronger gun here. What ammo are you rocking? A 7.62 is going to do wonders at this range, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatsoever. Just come in and murder him with the SMG, why don't you? But there is still fire from a distance, and they have to be aware of this one. Tank and Lee alive for Zenith.
It's part of the knock-on effect, potentially, of that previous game format. I mean, we look at these teams and assume that they're, inhuman, and as you said, that kind of crossroads where Liquid currently hold is very much a center point traditionally. It's actually a little more towards the hills, a little bit more northern than I think we'd not necessarily expect, but what we've come to expect. It only shifts a little further south than this, and I want to see how it approaches that kind of this territory that we're seeing here, because we used to believe that it would move traditionally away from this. So again, for me, I'm quite curious as to how these teams respond to this. Do they sit north? Do they go south of this? The islands, hey, they're still available. You're always welcome to go out there for a swim, but for now we are seeing that Triumphant and Tianba, a little bit of a scuffle on the coast, and for now, it is a bit of a problem because they're losing out on players, and this ain't the circle to be doing so.
Fang's still alive, though, and it's someone that they need to be very, very aware of. Tianba upside of the hill. He's there to get the first opener on them, give them some line of approach onto this one. M200 also falls, and Mings is forced back into his shank to try and hold the line here and stay alive. Where's Lorena in all of this to give him the level of support that he needs? Never mind, we'll go to a different fight altogether. LG Divine. STK, well, they were happy over here in the little hangar, but unfortunately, they've got residency. They're not happy, though, and the grenades are down, and LG Divine is bleeding out fast. That mullet is... Oh, I thought it was perfect. Never mind, it was literally at his feet.
It's close.
Speaking of at his feet, yeah, through the rafters. I mean, thankfully, it's not wood, otherwise it would have got him, but never mind. There's a nade to bounce as well, so for STK, it's not a clean wipe. They lose Luke while doing so, but still, it's not the 16th places that became so reminiscent with them yesterday. We didn't really touch on it, but for STK, 3 16th places out of 5 games. To say we were hyping him up yesterday, it wasn't the best of performances we've seen from the North American team. Against the coastal edge, not somewhere where I would want to be personally, because we know eventually it's going to work its way away from water. This time it hard shifts up to the north. The land ratio hasn't come into effect yet.
He's coming up this way as well. They're in the vehicles. They're going to see Tab, who's... Well, I don't know if they're going to see Tab, but Tab's going to see them. Whether or not he can get anyone on the way. Uber could be a little vulnerable, and he is, especially with that headshot coming through. Great work from the Tab to pick that up, and now FaZe lose one on rotation. I'm curious where they're going to send it to now. Daytrade still on the move, going to be coming into the kind of EU battle going on here. He will get the first glimpse of them. First shot at it, and actually lands it pretty well. Batulin's that comfortable pickup. That should be a flush, as it is, and it even goes to them as well. No one else diving in on taking that away. So they're the first kind of guardians of the West, and they'll open up towards Na'Vi, Liquid, and potentially FaZe. Oh, spin out, that could be a problem, and it is. Lou, very, very comfortable for him.
Impala, maybe? Question mark? Okay, well,
50-50.
it's left it out in the open a little.
Talking about earlier, Triumphant deciding they would go for a more direct approach, it seems like for now. As Relo probably won't love that. Would love to pick that up, but it's not going to get too much. A little bit of damage here and there. Gen.G fancies a pop at it, but again, not completely making the most. But there it is in Onyx. They're just tagged up enough and delivers comfortably with the mini from further afield. There he is, as you can see, spamming away, praying for a nice connection, and even getting the car burning. You can see the problems now beginning. That could have been the end of PSG. But we are now seeing the knock-on effect of Afreeca Freecs coming into the EU scuffle on the northern side. Afreeca Freecs, though, going to lose out on Hansia to start with, and you're going to see the rest of the teams now seeing this like, okay, we've got some more people coming over, a little bit of a party here.
Yeah, this is where Na'Vi will start to kind of magnetize themselves to look at this one. For Venotica and Nurins to try and get into it in the form of Daytrade. Oh, that's a banger! Rolls perfectly outside the door, and this should be the go symbol if you're Afreeca Freecs looking towards it. Gustav's there to try and receive the rest of them if they want to try and make an advancement on this. Smokes and flashes go down, and a cat hits it from a different angle, but Nurins inadvertently helps out FaZe Clan by knocking a cat. That was a beautiful little sweep they was trying to formulate on the backside. FaZe does unfortunately go down throughout this, but with two different teams trying to fight over this one. It looks like Na'Vi have actually gone out to try and extend their reach on this side of the circle, capitalize on the third-party situation, and maybe get the lone snake down, because if they do, this will be clean. And they need it to be clean so they can just focus fire onto Team Liquid. They are their next obstacle. And with the circle, that becomes even more important. Impala is still in. Afreeca Freecs going for the middle play and trying to take whatever's left over from when this next circle did update. A bit of a warning shot to the side of Na'Vi. And again, this fight has been backbuilding for quite some time. And during the next minute, it will have to unfold. There's the first one. The nade is also... It's not perfect, but it's damn good and removes a fair amount of health from Kemba. He'll be feeding this information back, holding front and center points. Nade has been cycled. Damage, will it be done? As it hit the side of the wall, I think it's just gone to his left. It does. Roth has been knocked, and that gives you some sort of idea of what Gen.G are fighting with. They said that they can instantly claim that point from the tower that they're in. Jimbo onto Kemba. And it looks like Na'Vi, it's time to run. There's only two of them left standing, and that's a hell of a lot of damage done. Blue's there also. Besto will fall in the distance. And Gen.G do have some sort of an eye lying into this one.
The edge of the smoke could have been huge for Alo then. Poonage seems all too aware of it. And the barrel, well, look, it's an all-rounder. You need a sniper? No worries. You need something that's got a mad, mag dump capability? No worries. It can do it all. And for now, Shinboy is 3'd up, so looking to do some work for himself, and then just going to keep shoot-to-kill as locked in as they can. The one benefit for Zenith, they were on the outskirts, and they've shuffled around, they've adjusted. Now, yes, it does mean they're a little open to Gen.G, I'm sure, but they're very cognizant of that for now. There's the flush towards Alo. Kurt's still alive, but is knocked, so Uncivil being the only one to be able to make much out of this, and that time's dwindling. And I mean, this is without even adding to the equation. Na'Vi might be able to see another approach from them as they came over to the eastern side of that big rock in the north. So again, this becomes tricky, and Gen.G's vision is just still reigning supreme. They can see so much, and another team comes in. Oh, out of nowhere! Multi-Circle Gaming make an appearance, looking for options potentially, or maybe just looking for kills. And they found it. VP handling T1 well out in the west. I'm not sure how many of T1 are left, maybe just one in the distance, it looks like. So that's an issue for them to face, because they've got Triumphant not far away, and Tank has just appeared at the worst time for Zenith. They were so focused on that fight, but Pio, out of nowhere, the eyes, the vision that they still maintain, Rich, is massive.
That res is going to be even bigger. It now gives STK something to work with. It denies the initial point. Even if they go down to the blue, they can stop the points going the way of Zenith, or they can work as a two-man. He doesn't realize they're outside. They jump the smoke. They come round the back as well. Oh, no, no. This has gone completely wrong. Kickstart here to try and save the day, but Zenith go down.
Gen.G starting to build that momentum. And Ence on the move. They have to get past Gen.G, who've adjusted. Ence is still in the taller compound, but the nades, the utility being cycled through. Ence trying to breach and clear this. I don't think two teams can survive in the same space here in Impala, or what's left of it. An underhand Molly will keep that doorway safe. Great work from Pio. once again, the controller that he is, just making sure it's all his. And now Omoli comes back in, though. Loki, though, this time set on fire and put down out of mercy from Diggory. But there's a trade out. Nade comes right back in. It's Loki. It's not without answer. This looks like they're just going to destroy each other at this rate. But I've got to say, for now, Ence are coming off way worse. It's only Loki who is knocked at the moment. Esther's still holding the angle. Pio's just patrolling up top. And if he gets a little fruity about this and decides to go on a push, then I'd be terrified. That's it. Good nade towards Diggory. Follow-up flash. Molly goes in. They've got to be done for. Yeah, Ence are done. Gen.G stay alive with all 4. 8 kills now. And Impala is their home.
Bastards, unless you take one of the ridge lines here on the left.
Time to crash for Liquid, it seems. And Afreeca Freecs are the ones waiting on the other side. And Onyx is helping out. Gen.G's reach is just vast. As it stands, though, Clip did just find Batulins. Where are these kills coming from? Liquid, you've got problems in front of you. I know you want to try and get the rest, but maybe clear these guys out first. Gen.G's doing it for you. Pio's coming in. Gen.G just constantly in the feed. 10 kills now.
But they have 2 teams. If they go after Oath, they open themselves up to Team Liquid Fire. If they come after Team Liquid Fire, maybe that's the go symbol for Oath. It's a very domino-esque effect. Relo wants to try and deal with the last player of VP. I mean, at the moment, with how deep they are in the circle, if they can get rid of Spyro, then there's nothing to worry about. They have all the land to play with. They're completely out of line of sight of Team Liquid. Liquid has to get to the circle and basically run a Death Valley. For Gen.G, they can't make a mistake here. They can't go after Oath too early because that's when Liquid will capitalize.
This is the thing. I don't know how Gen.G gets past Liquid without Oath taking chunks out of them. And I'm sure Gen.G are trying to work through those options right now. I don't know how they can do it without winning a clean fight on Liquid. And maybe they can. Gen.G have looked phenomenal thus far, and they're making it look simple. This is Team Liquid that they are just completely slicing through. I guess that's how you do it. In a split second, you win the fight, and now suddenly you can face off in a 4v4 against Oath. The team that held you back earlier, and Relo does it again. Loki is found. He was holding the highest point for them as it stands. Pio, Inonix, and Ence still alive, and they hold the northern side now. You see Fatcaps then taking that territory they've just garnered. Pio's been isolated. The Snake could be good, but Snakers out in the open. Pio's going to punish that all day long. And Gen.G now down 3, but has his Oath.
Dominating on screen. As you saw, they took the advantage and stepped into it at the right time. The first knock came on the side of Oath, but now there has been a response there from up top. All the Gen.G players are heavily damaged. And this could be the time that Oath need to make it in. However, individual gun skill comes into effect. Someone like Esther, Pio, I'd be very scared going toe-to-toe with these giants. For the players that are deeper inside the fields, they've kind of traded now position. You have the height advantage, but they have to work the way down. Inonix, nice lean to the left. It's good. The trade-off is there as Balefrost will answer back onto Pio. Still 1-on-1, here we go. 2-on-2. Patcaps heal up. Esther, if you come over this hillside, you're going to get very lucky and catch him with his pants down.
Okay, flush on Pio. We're down to Esther. We're down to Inonix. Good damage done, but the blue, it's on his back. He's got to move forward, but Balefrost is low as well. The flash could be sick for Inonix. This should catch at least 2. I'd say both of them. It's just pinged off the railing. Maybe not. But now Oath are looking a little lost in this. Gen.G have them pinned, but Esther's low. He's holding the ridgeline like his life. Does depend on it. Balefrost completely blind.